Blue skies means fun days. Helping skydivers with tips and techniques about safety, training and fun jumping from those who know.
Hi, and welcome to Blue Skies Fun Days. I'm Lori Kraemer Clark. Sometimes we get injured skydiving, and occasionally it may take a while to get back in the air. And there can be a lot of emotional stress involved in becoming comfortable in the aircraft, in free fall, and on landing. Today we are going to have a chat with a few people about their injuries and how they came back. Have you ever been injured skydiving?
Yes. I don't know what it's in English. My knee. There was a band.
How long were you unable to skydive with your knee injury?
6 weeks, yeah. When I came back, I was more upset than before my first jump when I came back.
So there's a lot of nerves with that. How did you overcome the being nervous coming back after your injury?
Jumping.
So have you ever been injured skydiving?
Yes.
What was your injury?
A broken ankle.
How long were you out of skydiving?
12 weeks.
Were you nervous?
Oh yeah. I felt like it was almost like I was doing my first jump again. And I had to, as I was riding up in the airplane, I had to remind myself that I'd done it correctly and landed correctly and safely 2,400 times. I just didn't land correctly once.
Have you had any skydiving injuries?
No, I've injured myself at the drop zone quite a few times, but never skydiving, just like, after jumping stuff, which usually seems to be the way it happens.
So have you ever been injured skydiving?
Yes.
What was your injury?
Dislocated shoulder.
How long were you out from that injury?
I would say I pulled myself off of jumping for about a month, just so I could make sure that it wouldn't happen again.
Were there any considerations coming back from that injury?
Well, I took different measures. I was jumping with a brace for a while to make sure that it wouldn't come out, because they make the shoulder braces, just to make sure everything, give myself every tool that I can to make sure I can still do what I'm doing safely.
How is that working for you now?
Oh, great. Shoulder's completely healed.
Have you had a skydiving injury?
Does falling off the tram count? Or out of the mock-up? I'm not kidding you. My two worst skydiving injuries, I hit my elbow falling out of the mock-up once, and I totally destroyed my shin falling off of the tram. Other than that, my skydiving injuries have been a twisted ankle and some sore shoulders from some midair issues, but nothing major so far.
Have you had any skydiving injuries?
Thankfully, very little. I broke a pinky once from rotors off of some trees into a bit of a harder landing, but I'm happy to say that is the worst from a skydiving perspective.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I went up on a sky van and the winds increased, and we jumped out and the winds had went from 10 miles an hour on the ground, and it increased to 25 miles an hour. And I dislocated my shoulder and couldn't jump for a year because of operations and therapy, recovery. But
how did you come back from that injury?
Well, I was quite eager to come back. It's just the doctor had told me before he did the operation, he said don't even think about skydiving for at least a year. And and then I said, well, what can I do? And he said, well, let's see. Because I like the jet ski. Nope, you can't do that. I like the ATV. No, you can't go ride an ATV. I like the bike ride. No, you can't ride a bike. So he kind of went down the list. And I said, what can I do? Well, you can go for a walk. That was a long year for me.
Were you nervous when you came back?
They had me go in the tunnel for 5 minutes to make sure the shoulder had repaired and wouldn't be going out. They said you'd rather find out in the tunnel if you have a bad shoulder than at altitude.
Scraped up my leg a couple times, but that's coming in. I came in a little too close to a dust devil out in the south landing area. I had to take a downwinder instead of getting thrown around and slammed onto the ground. I came sliding in, took the skin off my shin, but that's about it. Nothing serious.
What was your injury?
I had someone cut off our group in the landing area just as I was about to flare, and while I was going, what the hell's going on, I hit the ground. and blew my L2 up. So I now have 2 bits of titanium in my back.
How long were you out of skydiving after that injury?
I was out for about 9 months, 10 months, and the doctor said I could have gone back earlier, but I wanted to wait.
How did you come back from the injury?
Very slowly and with a lot of trepidation. The challenge was it was a landing impact, and so I was very nervous about landing. So what I did was, in Skydive Vibes, Catherine Bernier had a collection of landings that she'd done. So I put them on the TV in the lounge room and sat on the stool and practiced my flares as I was coming in to land. And I must admit, when I started doing it, just watching it on the screen, I could feel the tension level growing. But by the time I'd gone through her 10 landings 3 or 4 times, I felt a lot more comfortable. And also on the day, I made sure it was a day where there was about 5 knots of wind. No more, no less. And it was fine coming back after that. But if I hadn't done that preparation, I think it could have been quite a painful experience.
Thank you for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again on another episode of Blue Skies Fun Days.
For more tips and techniques, click subscribe.